Countdown to a happy and successful retirement. So you are ready, set to retire, but do you have a plan?
Joyce Palmer provides wisdom on wealth, empowering women to be proactive and make safe, smart, and simple financial decisions. Welcome to Proactive Woman, helping create financial legacies for ladies. Oh, and men too.
Hi, this is Joyce Palmer, and you are listening to the Proactive Woman podcast. So, are you ready, set to retire, but do you have a plan? Last episode, we talked about why you need to do some planning for retirement. Unlike the old days, retirement today is much, much more complex and requires more focused planning than our past generations may have to do. We're living longer. As a result, things like company and government pensions are largely going away. And if they're not gone, they're in jeopardy of being underfunded and may not be able to fulfill its promise on income payouts. Healthcare costs. Healthcare costs is steadily increasing. People's lifespans are extended by medical advancement. So we're living longer. So these plans, these benefits, Social Security, all of those things weren't necessarily put in place with the expectation of people living as long as they're living. Market highs, market lows continue to make investing like a Disney World roller coaster ride. And leaving a legacy or wealth transfer to the next generation looks gloom. So it's important that you prepare, that you plan for retirement that is centered around your values and your goals. I say that all the time. Your values and your goals are unique to you, and your plan needs to be centered around your values and your goals. So count down to 5 components of a good retirement plan. Number 5, legacy planning, transfer of wealth. So first, we have to have the conversation about what does legacy planning or transfer of wealth mean to you? Because again, it's based on you. Some are of the belief that, I did a good job providing for and investing in my children's education and making sure they had everything they needed while they were growing up. I made sacrifices then, and now that they're grown, they should be self-sufficient. So I want to use my resources, my retirement nest egg, to enjoy my golden years with no regrets. And if there's anything left over, that's fine, but I don't want to intentionally minimize or short my retirement for the sake of leaving something behind. So that's one school of thought, and that's perfectly fine. Another school of thought or another person may feel compelled to create a legacy. They want to make sure that they leave things in place or leave something behind for the next generation, for their children to build off of. So they want to be intentional in carving off or putting a portion of their assets in position specifically for transferring them to their children or their grandchildren or other family. So no matter what your desire is, the key is a written plan that outlines this and addresses all of the potential gaps in legacy planning. And there are some gaps in legacy planning, like beneficiaries. Adequately making sure that you're reviewing and updating your beneficiary information is crucial. And I'm going to share a story with you about beneficiaries in a minute. But the other component of legacy planning is a will or a trust. Do you have a will or a trust? Do you have legal documents in place, written legal documents in place that Express your desires. What are the differences between a will or a trust? When might you need a trust instead of a will? 2019, it was the Secure Act. That was major legislation that changed the landscape of transferring qualified accounts. In 2019, the Secure Act legislation changed the way that non-spousal beneficiaries can receive inheritance from qualified accounts. So prior to 2019, non-spousal beneficiaries could stretch out the tax liability over a lifespan, i.e. a stretch IRA. Well, that is no longer the case. So if you're planning to leave qualified monies to a non-spouse, then there is some special planning that you will need to do. All part of planning. And how will taxes impact your funds? Taxes will have a huge impact on your beneficiaries. Will you leave monies to your heirs where there is a tax nightmare? Could you do some planning today to maybe hedge off some of that? Yes, you certainly can, but it requires planning. Now, I said I was going to share with you a story about the importance of doing beneficiary audits. By the way, JP Financial Group, we offer a complimentary beneficiary audit to all of our listeners. So, real life story. I have a client that so happens to be one of my male clients. So you guys know JP Financial Group is a boutique for ladies, but we like men too. So this is one of my male clients. Has been happily married for over 20 years to the same lady, 3 beautiful children, and a loving marriage. His wife was a school teacher and had been one for over 30 years. She started out right out of school. And when she went in to sign up for her benefit plan through the Human Resource Office, she listed her mom and her sister as the beneficiaries on her retirement 401k plan. His wife was a great saver, and she had close to $1 million in her plan when she passed. My client, again, who had been married for now over 20 years, went to the Human Resource Department to complete the claim forms for the account, at which time he was informed that he was not the named beneficiary on the account. Well, when his wife enrolled in a plan over 30 years ago, she never changed the beneficiary information on her account, just an oversight. Her mother and her sister, who were named on the beneficiaries, her mother, who had since passed, leaving her sister as the sole beneficiary on the account. Now, listeners, you've heard the saying that in-laws can be outlaws. Well, this sister has always and still absolutely hated my client, hated him. She did not give him a dime of that money. And there was nothing he could do because he was not the named beneficiaries. Named beneficiaries on qualified accounts trump everything else. Get your beneficiary audits done today. So guys, if you're a client, then you know that I'm available anytime to talk to you about your plan. But many times I hear that you have friends, family, coworkers who have questions and don't always have a trusted financial professional as a resource. So as a courtesy, I extend to listeners, Ask Me Anything strategy call. It's a no cost, no obligation strategy call to ask me any financial question that's on your mind. What do I need to do, or what do I need to know if I'm leaving my child as the beneficiary? Or maybe you have some concerns about what's going on in the markets. Or maybe you're approaching 65 and not sure about how Medicare works. Ask Me Anything is a 20-minute strategy call that could work for you. Keep listening as we count down the 5 components of a good retirement plan.
Thank you for listening to Proactive Women, helping create financial legacies for ladies. Oh, and men too. Be sure to visit jpfinancialgroupllc.com. Call Joyce at 704-543-6269 or email Joyce at jpfinancialgroupllc.com. You can find us on all your favorite platforms. Be sure to subscribe to hear more proactive wisdom on wealth from Joyce Palmer and JP Financial Group.
The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature and not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes.